Robin, the quintessential superhero sidekick. He is always there with Batman to get the job done. Batman and Robin thrive together. They are the OG dynamic duo. Let's play full court, baby! Your go-to channel for the most interesting basketball topics. Like most sports, basketball is a team sport. The only way to win multiple championships and have an extended rate of dominance of the league is to have a great and balanced set of players around your superstar. And more times than not, it starts with the Robin. Now, everyone has their own criteria for what makes a player the Robin in the dynamic. I have mine too. For example, I do not see Kobe Bryant as the Robin to Shaq during their three-peat for the Lakers. Yes, Shaq was better and had arguably the most eminent peak of any superstar in league history. But Kobe went on to become Batman. He won multiple championships, Finals MVP, scoring titles, and even a league MVP. That is not a Robin in my book. For me, a Robin is someone who had an excellent career on a dominant and significant team. Similarly, if they have led a team to a championship while being the best player on the roster like Dwyane Wade or Kobe has, they do not qualify. So, here are some legends who I think are the greatest Robins in NBA history. We start off our list with Kevin McHale. Larry Bird deservedly received a lot of credit for the 1980s Boston Celtics. Being a three-time NBA champion and three-time MVP, he was the franchise's face. But at the same time, he had a lot of help. That team was outstanding, but McHale might have been the best two-way player on the Celtics. McHale came to Boston after Celtics president Red Auerbach pulled off one of the most significant trades in team history. He teamed up with Parrish and a young Bird. McHale played starter minutes for the next few seasons, despite mostly coming off the bench. McHale set a career high with 18.4 points per game in 1983-84. He averaged 31.4 minutes per game and was instrumental in leading the Celtics to a championship victory over the Los Angeles Lakers. Beginning with the 1983-84 season, Boston advanced to 4 consecutive NBA Finals. He began his transition into a full-time starter in 1984-85, starting in 31 games. That Boston team arguably had the best front court in NBA history, as they went on to win their third and final championship of the decade in 1986. McHale was known for his low-post moves on offense. He could score with some of the NBA's best big men. McHale had the best statistical year of his career in 1986-87, averaging 26.1 points and 9.9 rebounds. He had the highest field goal percentage in the league. At his apex, McHale was arguably the NBA's best defensive player and used his long arms and athleticism to frustrate opposing players. NBA Hall of Famer and television legend Charles Barkley once famously said that Kevin McHale was the best player he had ever faced. That's how good he was. Next on the list is Joe Dumars. A lot of people forget Joe Dumars when they're talking about some of the best Robins in NBA history, but his contribution to the Bad Boys Pistons team's success is undeniable. He has a Finals MVP to prove that. Throughout his 14-year NBA career, Joe Dumars was a consistent all-round player and one of the best shooting guards of his era. He spent his entire career with the Detroit Pistons, where he was a 6-time All-Star, 2-time NBA champion, defensive standout, and clutch shooter. Dumars quickly established a reputation as a defensive stalwart and dangerous offensive threat, but his 1989 NBA Finals MVP performance cemented it. In those finals, the Lakers had no answers for Dumars, who finished with averages of 27.3 points, 1.8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. Although Dumars played under the shadow of the incredible Isaiah Thomas, I believe that at some point in time he was more valuable to that team. But unfortunately, the franchise never flourished as much as it did when IT was at the peak of his powers. That is exactly what makes him the Batman and Dumars the Robin of those Bad Boys Pistons teams. Throughout his career, Dumars averaged 16.1 points, 4.5 assists, and 2.2 rebounds a game. And although he was a member of the famed Bad Boys teams known for his aggressive play and demeanor, he became personally known for his quiet and upstanding behavior, and was the first recipient of the NBA Sportsmanship Award, which had been named the Joe Dumars Trophy. After his playing career, he had a significant role in the front offices of teams like his own Detroit Pistons and Sacramento Kings. When the Pistons won in 2004, Dumars became the first African-American executive to lead a team to an NBA championship. On May 2nd, 2022, Dumars was named the Executive Vice President and Head of Basketball Operations of the NBA. The next player on this list was a part of one of the most successful dynasties in NBA history. The most unique thing about that team was that they were so good for so long. Of course, I'm talking about the San Antonio Spurs. When it comes to the Spurs, everything started and ended with the big fundamental, Tim Duncan. They could not win before him, and they haven't won since he retired. But throughout that gloried period, this Batman had his fair share of Robins, and Tony Parker was the most significant one. Regarded as one of the greatest European players ever, Parker was selected 28th overall in 2001 by the Spurs. Parker, who stands 6 foot 2 inches tall and weighs 185 pounds, played as a point guard and established himself as a potent offensive player. In a 2007 poll, his peers voted him as one of the quickest players in the NBA, and he frequently slashed to the basket for a layup or a teardrop shot. Despite his small stature as a basketball player, he led the league in points in the paint for much of the 2005-2006 season. As a Spur, Parker went to the NBA Finals 5 times and won 4 championships. In 2007, the Spurs defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-0 to win the finals. Parker consistently outperformed his Cavaliers counterparts Daniel Gibson and All-Defensive Team player Larry Hughes in the series, scoring a series-high 24.5 points while shooting 56.8% from the field and 57.1% from the three-point range. He was named the 2007 NBA Finals MVP for his efforts, becoming the first European-born player to do so. Parker was one of those players who perform better when the lights are the brightest. He was an exceptional playoffs performer. Tony Parker retired as the 9th leading scorer and 5th leading passer in NBA playoffs history. The last, and certainly not the least entry on our list, is the undisputed greatest Robin in the history of basketball, Mr. Scottie Pippen. I don't think anyone would argue against the notion Scottie Pippen is the GOAT Robin. What he did with Michael Jordan was legendary. They won 6 NBA championships together and formed a dynasty that permanently reshaped the sport. More notably, Pippen and Jordan became probably the greatest basketball combo in history. Looking at Pippen's achievements, it's evident that he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. The small forward won 6 championships and was named to 7 All-Star teams, 7 All-NBA teams, and 10 All-Defensive teams. Pippen was also the All-Star MVP in 1994 and a member of the 75th anniversary team. Pippen was a joy to watch on the court. He understood his role in the Bulls' offense as the key facilitator and the guy who faced the other team's best wing player. He did both of these while also being required to score close to 20 points every night. It's no surprise Jordan couldn't win a championship until Pippen broke through. This tandem was unstoppable, winning 3 straight championships twice, and commanding the 1990s with an iron fist not seen since the Boston Celtics of the 1960s. Pippen is regarded as one of the best defenders of all time, and one of the most versatile and athletic players ever. He delivered gritty on-the-ball perimeter defense or aggressive inside defense similar to MJ, and was especially adept as a help defender. He possessed exceptional athleticism, especially when compared to other professional athletes, and at the same time, he had all the skills in the areas that bode well for basketball. His insane work ethic and godlike physical gifts made him one of the most unstoppable forces in his era. Scottie became the Batman for almost 2 seasons when MJ retired to play baseball, and he was an MVP candidate in one of those seasons. He was that special. When Michael Jordan tells you that he could not have won those championships without Scottie Pippen, you gotta believe him. Scottie Pippen will forever be known as the greatest Robin ever and the best teammate of all time. Some of the greatest and most important Robins we did not talk about in this video are Pau Gasol, Manu Ginobili, John Stockton, Sam Jones, Bob Cousy, Klay Thompson, David Robinson, and many more. Being a Robin is a tough task. All of these legends are Hall of Famers and so immensely gifted that they could have been more popular and individually more successful players on different teams. But they chose to be the Robins to their Batman for the greater good of winning championships and making an impact, and that is their greatest gift. We hope you enjoyed the video topic today. Subscribe to our channel Full Court for more interesting basketball topics.